to get to where we want to go, we have to have everybody committed to wanting to be there. Sounds silly, but when I walk the streets and see the latest disaster, these Chinese COVID masks, and people are using 1, 2, 3 of this plasticized materials, and they're all over the streets, and we're filling the landfills with them, I think that's a poor strategy. We know what we want to accomplish. We know the technologies that will accomplish it. There should be a requirement that it's multi-use, and that you can't dispose of it like the next McDonald's bag or whatever. We have to make a commitment.
Dominic Demondo, obviously with this announcement, presuming that it goes ahead, consumers' lives will change in some way. How do you foresee consumers' lives changing with a proper strategy? Let's assume that the strategy can be worked out, and that, as you and Rick are talking about, there's a more root and branch approach to this. How would consumers' lives change, and indeed, what would be the cost to consumers? Dominic, why don't we start with you?
So I think for it to work, it would move away from bans and more towards extended producer responsibility, and then policy around, as we talked about, design and initiatives potentially with profit programs for collection. So I think what you would see change on the consumer side is just some of their day-to-day habits. So again, there would be some products where instead of, when you went for your takeout container, you just always grabbed a couple of forks and spoons. You would then either need to request it, or you wouldn't be given those, disposable containers. You'd have a different option. We talked about moving to different lid designs on coffee cups. So you're going to see certain products change. Other great initiatives that are happening within the U.S. and other areas, you have certain refillable containers. So when you go to the grocery store to get detergent, instead of grabbing a new bottle, you bring a bottle that would be refilled on your detergent. So I think there's going to be shifts in just our day-to-day life. It doesn't always need to be that it's going to cost more or it's going to impact the quality of what we receive. It's just changing, our daily practices. So there's going to be a bit of, with any time there's change, there's a bit of apprehension. But I think if we all come together and understand why we're doing it, and we put in place the right policies, for me, it's again moving away from the ban and more the right infrastructure for our collection and reuse of a material, but then changing our product design, so maybe changing some of our daily habits.
Rick Struthers asked the question to you too. How do you see consumers' lives changing, and what would be the cost to consumers if we rolled out an effective strategy for plastic net zero?
So, Tony, the cost of convenience is there anyhow. We're paying the piper in many different ways. We're fouling our waterways, we're clogging our oceans, we're killing our fish, we're disturbing our entire environment. I think that if we can identify the true costs, then if that your container must be recyclable and it costs you an extra buck at the front end, but that your kids are going to have fish, I think it's a price to pay.
So from your perspective, this is both desirable and consumers' lives will change for the better then?
Absolutely. And I see, when I go to Denmark, I see the people as a very happy people about what they're accomplishing. They're very proud to be environmentally conscious, and their whole design schematic and engineering approach is to make intelligent products.